what's really unique about Pat is his connection to his inner compass and the ability to take action. So as I prepared for this podcast and learned more about his story, I learned how he got in trouble in college. And there's a story that he would climb up on top of the lights at Sun Devil Stadium. And there was some photos and he was caught doing this. And typically you need probably to bring a tall ladder to get up to the rungs where you can begin to climb up there. It's not something that everyone can access. It's typically more dangerous. He's willing to take risks. So the president of the athletic department or the head coach, I don't remember which, is talking to him. Pat, why are you climbing up here? He's like, oh, well, I go up there about every week and I just meditate for an hour and look down on the field. And my guess is as he was meditating, he was reflecting of him seeing himself making plays, seeing and taking the actions that he needed to take to create the outcome that he wanted, and that seeing himself and his teammates making plays. And this is really powerful. It's, oh, cool, yeah, he meditated. No, it's not just, oh, cool, he meditated. This was him creating a connection between his conscious mind of what he wanted to have unfold and happen and his subconscious mind. In his mind, things had already happened. And I didn't have conversation with him directly. This is me giving my best estimation of everything I've learned about Pat and everything I've learned about this my journey with personal development and leadership. When you have someone that's strong at meditating and is connected with their values, there's not a second thought in their mind about what the actions are to take in a given moment. They're able to just react and respond and trust their instincts. And if you watched him play football, he was constantly trusting his instincts. He was studying the game so that when he was on the field, he was fully prepared to be the player that was unyielding and had no doubt in the action that he was going to take. And if you play football or if you've coached football, you know there's a lot that goes in. And if you don't take your time studying and preparing, especially on the defensive side of the ball, he played safety. If you pause for a moment and there's some doubt, you've lost. And he knew he needed every edge he could get because he was undersized. He was probably slower than the average safety and the average player in the NFL. But his game speed was fast. His passion was fast. His relentlessness. And you could see the values that he embodied coming through, bleeding through that red and white uniform. There was not a shred of doubt. So I want you to think if you had a perfectly white sheet of paper and it was so clear what color it was. If you put one drop of blue or orange or green on that paper, all of a sudden your mind goes to that spot. It sees the green, it sees the doubt, it sees the question, the uncertainty. Pat seemingly did not have that. He lived in a way that he was so connected with what he valued and the action, he knew what was important to him and the action that he would take, that he would blow right past any doubt and focus. Win, lose, or draw, his heart was in alignment with the action. That is rare. There was no doubt. There was no e-brake. He played football full tilt, and he played life full tilt. There was a story about from training camp in his rookie year with the Cardinals that his roommate, who had been drafted before him, had forgot to bring donuts for the veterans. And the veteran tied him to the goalpost with athletic tape. And as a prank, oh, this is what happens. You forget the donuts. You're the rookie. And they shot a warning across the bow of the rookies. Nobody mess with him. We're leaving him there for the day or however long it was going to be. Pat instantly goes to athletic trainer, give me some scissors, gets the scissors, walks out to the football field. All the other rookies are saying, no, Pat, don't do it's going to make it worse for all of us. The dude that's taped to the goalpost is saying, no. It didn't matter because Pat was so convicted in what he believed in himself, in his heart, what he was going to do. He cut him down, went out, back in the locker room, in the training room, put the scissors down on the table, and that was the end of it. Nobody said another word to him because they knew the conviction that he had. And he got in a lot of fights during training camp because he was playing at such a high level. It was not this is a practice and we're going to take it easier because we got to get ready for the game and take care of our bodies. He came, he's like, I'm going to practice how I play and play like I practice. And he played all out and practiced all out. And in the NFL, often they scrimmage with other teams and there's somebody who's blocking him down the field and it's kind of away from the play, but he's going full tilt and starts a scuffle and gets his helmet ripped off and he's still going at the guy. And not to say that every action that he took was right or wrong. That's not the point. The point is to see the power that we can have as leaders and as men when we listen and are connected with our true heart and our true self and what our strengths are as men. To know the power that we can have for those around us and the power that we have within ourselves and how much that doubt can slow us down, how much that blank sheet of paper that's one color is so clear. And then as soon as there's that one dot, it slows everything down. What happens when we just clear it off and go and live? Don't think about it, just go. This is something that my coach has been working me on is scripting. And as Pat meditated, it's a similar activity that I do before bed is that I'll write out what is going to happen tomorrow, as much detail as I can. And the more detail that I put into it, the more it plays out that way. If I just say I'm going to go to the park with my kids, maybe go to the park. But what am I doing? How am I engaged? How are I engaged in the conversations that I'm going to have? Is it going to be a conversation or is it going to be a powerful conversation that I'm able to listen and hear to somebody's heart, somebody's problems, and we're able to really start moving the ball forward? The detail and intention and intensity that we bring to every moment that God has given us on this earth. I can't remember where I heard it somewhere that like 90% of people who work at their jobs don't show up full tilt or don't show they're there, but they're not fully there. Their heart isn't in the work that they're doing. As men, is our heart fully in to what we can do? So that willingness to take action. What happens when we have that willingness to take action? Well, what happened with Pat is he became an and guy. He wasn't just, hey, I'm going to be all in on the NFL and all in on being a football player, and that's who I am. No. Cool, this football thing was great. I'm an all-pro. What about running a marathon? What about running a triathlon? And he completed those things in the off season. He completed a sub 4-hour marathon, and he completed I believe it was the Black Eagle Creek triathlon. So he embodies someone, and this is a principle that we talk about in Dads Who Lead is, can we insert the and? Can we be a dad who has fun with their kids, enjoys the experience of being a father, creates memories with them, and have boundaries and expectations for them to raise their own bar. How can we insert the and? And that's something Pat did tremendously well. He said, both of these things are important. How can I do that? How can I be an amazing, I'm just paraphrasing for me, how can I be an amazing dad and a great jiu-jitsu athlete and world champion? How can I be a great dad and a great husband and an amazing coach for my clients and guide my son to make great decisions for himself? The willingness to say, hey, to eliminate the idea that because I'm great at one thing, I need to sacrifice performance somewhere else. We are capable of so much when we let go of that limiting belief. Play full tilt. Hey, the last big point I want to talk about is Pat's fierce loyalty to his teammates, to his country, to himself, and to his ancestors, and the people who helped create this country, the people who helped defend the country to give us the freedoms that we have, that I can create this podcast right now, that we can go out and enjoy a t-ball game with our 4 or 5 year olds. That's huge that we have this opportunity. He understood the privilege that he had. And he said, man, like my ancestors sacrificed. I want to do the same to honor them and to show love to the people around me. So he left that multi-million-dollar contract as an NFL football player to pursue something that was in his heart. And what I appreciate about him is that he authentically loved his teammates. He authentically gave credit to his team. A lot of times you'll see your hero players like Russell Wilson comes to mind. I'm not saying specifically with his teammates, but during interviews, you'll hear him and you'll think, that's a great answer, but it feels like he knows that's the answer to the question on a test, not truly bringing his authentic self. And when you hear interviews with Pat loving on his teammates and the willingness to say, no, I'm not taking another spot on another team because I'm committed to these teammates, these coaches, this organization who took a chance on me, who drafted me, who's developed me. All of his heart was committed to those he loved. So when we look at somebody like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, they did a fantastic job elevating their team because they were driven to win. That was their North Star. And it's not to say one is better or worse, but we're looking at a unique circumstance with a unique man in Pat Tillman. Because just as Michael Jordan's North Star and Kobe Bryant's North Star were so strong that they're willing to come off as an asshole to their teammates to help their team win, Pat Tillman's conviction was from a space of love. It was from a space of, I am going to do everything I can for the brother next to me, for this country, for whoever he was serving through his action. The only way that you get that level of conviction is doing something for someone else. And I believe as dads, it's one of the greatest gifts we have because we have so much love for our kids. We're willing to be uncomfortable. We're willing to take risks. We're willing to make sacrifices for our kids. And it pulls that out of us. And I want to express this comparison to Jordan and Kobe Bryant from that space of different leadership styles and what we can learn from different leaders. It's not that one's better or worse, but I believe that, Jordan, if somebody came or left from the team, if you're on the team, you're on the team. But I see Pat Tillman being that guy that would see a teammate that had moved on to another team and still have that fierce loyalty towards him as a man. A loyalty towards, I'm here to do everything I can to help this team win, to help lead and guide my teammates through the example that I set. He never wanted the attention on him. And I believe there's some of that with Jordan and Kobe. You got to see that, man, I'm the dude. That was never the mindset, the style of leader that Pat Tillman was not, I'm the dude. The style was, how can I be my best self? How can I understand myself and bring everything I can? So I'm really grateful to have Pat Tillman as one of my childhood heroes. He passed when I was in high school. And his story has always hit home with me because I remember being in high school and feeling that level of loyalty and commitment towards my high school football team. And I don't know that there's a lot else that's more powerful than that, to feel that connection and love and going through hard things with people on our team and wearing the same, it seems small, but wearing the same colors and the pursuit of greatness. The question as we leave this is, how can we create that same culture within our home to let go of doubt, to let go of concern of what somebody else might say, and lean into the love, lean into the conviction of, we're going to do this and we're going to go fishing. We're going fishing all out. We're going to work out as a family and we're going to go all out. Maybe we're going to make some mistakes, but there's no question that the foot is on the gas. How can we do that as dads? Pat Tillman's wife, Marie Tillman, as we're wrapping up, she started an organization called the Pat Tillman Foundation, and they do a lot of fantastic things with leadership, scholarship for people who are pursuing a life of conviction. And I'll leave a link in our show notes. I have no connection to the Pat Tillman Foundation. I just really am honored by his story. And if you've listened to this and feel inspired, I'll leave a link so you can learn more about it, or if you want to donate to their cause, it's available. Again, if you're listening to this, and I would be honored if someone from Pat Tillman's family ends up listening to this podcast. I feel really blessed to have understood who he was as a man and his story. And even though he was taken too soon, just like Jesus Christ was taken too soon, often that sting amplifies his story. And even though I know that he wouldn't be about the attention, the impact of what we can learn from him as a leader is profound. And I want to thank his family, and I want to thank him. Again, that willingness and that drive to listen to his internal compass and to program that into his being and his spirit to take that action is just second to none. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave us a positive review. It helps the growth of our channel tremendously. And if you have not yet taken our leadership quiz, it's 100% free. You'll get a full breakdown of your leadership style as a dad, your strengths, your weaknesses, and a roadmap on how to leverage it to elevate your leadership as a dad. So until next time, stay hungry, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace.